Rum tum tali, rum tum tali. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh, isn't it just gross, guys? But look, this is what. Let me just get my hands in here like proper. Yeah. It doesn't smell bad, which is awesome, because that's like one of the benefits. But these are the guys we're going to deal with today. So, let's get cracking. Hey guys, welcome back. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to build your own wormery. So this here is a series of 3 crates. They're interlocking. Okay, so let me just take the drill from there, because that's what we're going to use. That's what you're going to need. You're also going to need drill bits in... let me just get that. Drill bits in 3 different sizes. You don't need to have 3 different sizes. It's just over time I've kind of learned that different sizes, it just works better. Then, okay, you need the bins, and let's just check. What did I pay for these? 35 Rand for the lead. Okay, so that's 35. I think the tap was about, I don't know, $5 or something. And this interlocking one tray was $93 at Plastics for Africa. Okay, so that's, I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not getting, I don't know, any kind of payment or something like that. This is just where I got it from. The reason why I like this is because it is reinforced. So over time, the weight of all the waste and everything, it stands up to that very, very nicely. Okay, so I got 3 of them. So it's 3 tiered, and they kind of sit on top of one another. Okay. Ooh, what's in there? Oh, there's already some paper ready for the worms that I actually placed in there. Okay, so what we want to do is the following. We're going to, how the wormery works is, so you've got the tap in the lowest tier. Okay, this is going to be set. It's going to be mounted, say on bricks or whatever. If you want to build like an actual stand for it, that's great. Basically, you kind of you stand it at an angle where all the fluid that comes out of the wormery runs to one end where the tap is, right? So you can always leave the tap open and a bucket right there, and it will just kind of collect the liquid, the liquid gold that comes out of this. And then the middle tier will have holes drilled in the base, and the same thing with the top tier. And then you have a lid, which then goes on top, and just to ensure that pests and little critters and things don't get in there to harm the worms as they work and eat and live and mate and all of those wonderful things. Okay, so the reason I use different sizes drill bits is for the different size particulates that will sort of make its way through down into the liquid, and also for the worm's movement. It just creates variation, which in nature, I think, it's not a big deal. I suppose you could do, I would use an intermediate size. If you're going to do just one size, then just use, I think, something smaller than that, maybe. Yeah, but the drainage, it just works better. I think. So yeah, that's just my theory. And many people will have different theories, and that's totally cool. If it works for you, then that's good. Okay, cool. Okay, so by the way, I think that this drill bit is is not the right one for this. You know, like masonry versus wood and whatever. Yeah, this is, but it's the size I have, so hey. Okay, one more thing that I forgot to mention is the following. Okay, so let's get this out. Is you can see that the underside of this container, of the containers, are also reinforced. So if you wonder why I am drilling in such a weird fashion, is because I can see the pie slices. Right, and so I'm avoiding the actual midline, and I'm drilling only in the weaker spots, because that is the reinforcement, and you don't want to compromise the reinforcement. Okay, so I think that that's quite important. Yeah, and I'm just kind of randomly making holes. You don't want like too many holes. Yeah, I can't tell you how many holes to make. It's just, if you want, you can freeze frame the video and count the holes. But yeah, if you're that pedantic or meticulous, feel free to do that. But just enough to, you don't want to sieve. You just want things to filter through slowly, okay? So that's really the aim. Okay, last one, smallest drill bit, let's get it. And yeah, it's just like, this has been like, I don't know, I'm a firm believer in wormeries. I think that they are freaking fantastic. They really, really, really do work. I've got a snailery as well. I love how we come up with these terms, wormery and snailery. And then obviously a cricket farm. If you guys are keen on those and you want me to show you how that works and what I use it for, hit me up and I will do my best to help you, okay? Okay, great. Let's check that I'm still in frame here. Okay, good. Let's go. Ooh, geez, and I just broke the drill, but that was a little too heavy-handed. Okay, so we're done. Gonna get a cloth, wipe them out, and then I'm gonna get the tool to cut the hole for the tap, and we'll do that together too. I'll be right back. Okay, so now got these guys, right? So there's a whole kit of the little, what are they? Carbon steel hole saw kit. Okay, so that's a hole saw kit. I'll remember that. Okay. Then I've got my little tap with the nut at the back, and it's got 2 rubber seals. Okay. So one of these seals will go on the inside of the container, and the other one will go on the outside, okay, to prevent any leakage. So what you're going to want to do is fit your hole saw, right, so that it fits exactly to the circumference of the back end of the tap, like where the thread is. So you don't want to go too big. This is quite important, because if it goes too big, the tap's gonna shift around and you're gonna end up with leakages and stuff like that, right? If it's too small, well, obviously we all know what happens when things are too small and they try and force themselves into really large they're too big and they force themselves into really tiny holes. It's never been a good recipe. Okay, so Oh, look, there's a button spider right there. Okay. Well, okay, so also, where are you going to put, this is the lowest tier, which has no holes in it, right? So where are you going to put this? You're going to want to stick it around about as far down as the seal will allow you to put it. Ideally, you'd want it as low as possible, but since that's not possible because it's got this little reinforcement here, the ribbing, or whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna stick mine in the middle and down against the base of the container. Okay, and I'm just gonna just move it around a little bit. You can use a marker if you want. I'm just gonna check if this works. If it doesn't, then yeah, I can see that, so that's cool. You might not be able to spot where I'm supposed to cut, but I can. And this is slightly smaller so that I can use a little force and get it in there. Now hold very firmly and whoa, drill. There it is. Oh, oh, this is annoying. Okay, how did I do this before? See? I'm not perfect. I think I need like a firm grasp on this one. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, cool. Now, make sure that I get all these little bits off. You could use some sandpaper if you want. I don't want, so right, and then I'm just gonna turn that in there. I've taken the one seal off, right? So now I've got to get it through the hole, which is without damaging the thread, but at the same time to get it in nice and firmly. There we go. Cool. Turn it the right way around, and then you can now see, I don't know if you can see that, but there's the little jobby coming through the other side. I'm gonna put the ring on. And don't worry about like the fact that it's kind of making a mound, because when you put this on, that will kind of sort that out. Now the nut goes on. Okay, and I'm just going to get a pair of pliers and tighten that, and then what we'll do to test that it doesn't leak is we'll pour some water in this. Okay, cool. Be right back. Okay, I've set it on a bucket and we're going to do a water test. Now, if you do end up with a leak, if you're going to put this in a house or something, I would advise you to perhaps, I don't know, stick some silicone in there, or some sort of sealant that is obviously, I don't know, environmentally friendly, but really it's not a major deal. These Wormeries for me stand outside. It's just nice if it doesn't leak, because you know. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just make sure that the tap is also closed. I'm just going to pour some water into the container itself, just enough to cover the tap. And whoops, gonna bring that back, and there is no leak, as you can see. I've just closed the tap, and there is not a single little leak over there. Okay, so that is basically the Wormery is virtually complete. Right, okay, so next step is to populate this and position it. Right, so here we are. Wormery is complete. It's been positioned. So basically I've stood it under a tree, which this is Vigilia arboides, the Cape lilac. Doesn't really matter what species, just out of interest. The sun rises over there, arcs over and sets in the west. Okay, north, south. Quite important because you don't want them to overcook. They are quite sensitive to temperature. So the species, the guys that I'm going to use for this wormery, of course, are red regulars. Okay, so what I've done with the actual wormery here, if we take a look, I've excuse me, I've just kind of stood it on bricks. It is quite firm. It is, it's not like it's not going to go anywhere, especially once the weight of everything is in here. It will kind of keep it firm. It is sitting on a board as well, and I've just kind of tried to make it a little tidier than my other wormeries this time. So I've put a little piece of wood offcut that I had, and you want to measure and check that a bucket of some sort will fit underneath, okay, so that you can kind of just leave that open all the time, and it will just constantly drain out, because what you don't want is you don't want the worms to drown. Okay, but I'll also show you what we're going to put inside the lowest tier in order to kind of help prevent that. It will still happen, but there are some preventative measures that you can put in place for that. Okay, I've just got some shade netting, right? Just some old discarded shade netting. You can use anything, some hessian, sackcloth, whatever, anything that will cover the hole so that everything like if any huge pieces of whatever comes through, it doesn't clog up the tap. So you can actually just easily take this out, give it a rinse, put it back. You'll have to do that very rarely, but yeah, there you go. And also what will now happen is you'll actually be able to, the worms have something to actually lay on, and then on top of that, all I'll do is take some old bromeliad leaves or whatever, any palm leaves, whatever you can find, and I'll just lay that on top, just straight from right next door to the wormery, so they can actually cling to this and not, if a clog does happen, if there is some sort of drainage problem, they can kind of climb on that, and they'll make their way with using the forces of adhesion and cohesion. They'll make their way back up into the safety of the upper tiers, okay, away from too much water. We're going to fill it with the upper tier. We'll put some shredded paper and boxes and whatever I have. So I've got some stuff over here which I'm just gonna rip up, just like donut boxes, paper eating plates, take-a-lot boxes. As long as it's all paper, that's good. So we're gonna just shred all of that stuff up in here, and then we'll get the worms, and I'll bring some food along with them, so they can start eating. And tomorrow I'll come back and just really give them a whole lot of food. Okay, taparino, well, paper, just being silly. Okay, so you basically just want to cover the bottom, and that should be good for them. Now we do the second tier. Okay, right, done. Here is one of my established wormeries, and I'm just gonna grab some worms real quick so there you can see they're going at it. Okay, so my hands, no gloves, because I love my worms. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna put the shade netting over here. I don't have a bag, so I'm just gonna grab some worms with my hands like that. Okay, and you just need like a few handfuls, really. Yeah, feels good, but yeah, it's Still kind of, I know, it's a little growth, ain't it? So, yeah, I think there's a thunderstorm coming. Feels like it. It's been way too hot today. Here we go. Whoops, sorry, Jim. That one went flying. Okay, so that is kind of what I'm going to start with. You can literally just buy worms, and then that's it. Okay, worms, got them. Let's go put them in. And really, all I'm going to do is literally dump them in. And then I'm going to take some food and put the food on top of them. The other thing I got to do now is I've got to add some water to all of this. That's it. And now we're going to add some stuff on top of them because they eat from the bottom up, right? And yeah. So I've just got like some garden waste for now. So some banana skins from the garden, from some of the bananas, bromeliad leaves, lots of plants that I was working with. I'm gonna put that on top of them. Ow! Sorry, twig just got me in the eye there. Like so. Okay. And then what I like to do just to get them going is I just throw some like used cocoa peat over them. You don't have to. Again, this is like the shade netting. It really isn't necessary. It's a nice sort of thing for them to move between and kind of, you know, it's coconut husks, so hey, shredded. Right, so that's that. And guys, this is a nice way to get rid of your garden waste without sending it to landfill, where that nutrients gets locked away like permanently, indefinitely at least. Some more. Some weeds, things that the rabbits don't eat. Okay, that's that. Some more. And then I'm just gonna put that over the top. Actually gonna tuck it in, not have it come out over the edge. Okay, cool. And then we're gonna add some water to that. Lots of water your first time. Okay, you want to see the water come flooding out the bottom. And over time, during summer you're gonna add more water, and during winter you'll add a little less. But you're always constantly going to be adding water to this thing to actually drain all of the water. Drain all of the substrates and things on the inside, drain out all the nutrients. So it's going to just keep, and all the poo, the castings, all of that. And generally what happens is they're going to have a very beautiful layer of castings on the inside, which you can clean out, and that's gold. And then in here you'll also have some really good stuff about there. You can put food into both of these. I swing it both ways depending on how I feel and what's happening in the wormery. So I don't always, there isn't like hard and fast that I follow. But when I do that, the episode on wormery management, then you'll get to see how that works. But already you can see the water starting to discolor. And it's a very slow but constant flow, so it's nothing being welled up from within the bucket. The bucket's water was clear a second ago, so it's literally filtrate coming through, and you can see the tea color already beginning just from that. Okay, so yeah, if it does overflow, it's right near in a garden, so everything, there's a tree right behind it, and there's my camera watching you, or me, and so it's also on a slope, so all of the nutrients will actually distribute downhill if there is ever any sort of leakage, which is great too. So yeah, cool. That's running. Ducks are quacking because I gotta go feed them, and I think that there's a thunderstorm coming. I see the clouds in the background there. You can't really see that, I don't think. But, yeah. I mean, it's winter, right? It's crazy. 32 degrees? Insane. Okay, I'm coming! Okay, gotta go. Okay, cool. Hope you enjoyed this. It was good? Yes? Okay, great. Good. Leave comments in the comment section if you've got anything interesting, your take on things. Remember, this is just my take, and I have been doing it for a long time, so I'm not pulling this out of my, I am literally, I've done this before. It's not my first rodeo, kids. All right. Take it easy. Bye now.